Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be the third installment of my series called Looks and Books. If you are new here, what it is that I'm going to be doing a regular makeup look or a look inspired by a book while discussing said book, whether it be in the form of a book review or questions that I answer. Today I'm going to be discussing the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. This look here is my take on an alternate universe Harry Potter who's gender bent and was placed into Hufflepuff instead of Gryffindor. I think I'm actually going to be doing a Harry Potter tag today, so I'm going to try getting through as many questions and answering them as I can. So let's just jump right in. First question, which of the 7 books was my favorite? I think the first one will definitely always hold a special place in my heart. If you don't know what the first one is, it's the Sorcerer's Stone. And I think one of the main reasons it's my favorite is because Harry, he's so young and he's so fascinated by this whole new world that he never knew about. And just that sense of wonder and discovering new things is just something that really connects with me. And then which of the 8 movies is my favorite? And I'd have to say actually the last 2 movies, and just seeing it on the big screen come to an end after such a long run, it's just really nostalgic and just really touched me. And then next is who are my favorite male characters? And I would have to say Hagrid and Dumbledore and Sirius are like my top 3 favorite older characters in the book who are male. And then in the younger category, I would probably say Harry and then all of the Weasleys pretty much. And then I also really like Neville as well. As for my favorite female characters, I think my top would probably be Luna, tied with Professor McGonagall. And then Hermione, and then probably Mrs. Weasley as well. Now, for which Hogwarts house I would be placed in, I actually was placed into Hufflepuff by Pottermore, and I really actually liked that I was because I do identify with the characteristics that are kind of shown within Hufflepuff. Even though a part of me identifies with all of the other houses as well, I just think that Hufflepuff overall encompasses more of who I am most of the time as compared to like where I feel maybe Slytherin a little more every now and then, and maybe Gryffindor a little more every now and then, but overall Hufflepuff for sure. As for which Hogwarts subject would be my favorite, I think I am most intrigued by Transfiguration. Now, if I had to choose between a Horcrux or Hallows, I think I would definitely go for the Hallows. I mean, granted, they both have like a certain level of danger set to them, but for a Horcrux, you kind of have to commit murder for that, and I am definitely not capable. For which character or characters I relate to the most, I probably would have to say Hermione and Luna. I think that they do represent me the most because for Hermione, she has her close set of friends that she really cares for, and she does value certain things, such as caring for her education and being really loyal to those that she loves and cares for. And for Luna, she's kind of seen as this quirky, weird girl, and I relate to that because a lot of the time I'm actually pretty weird myself. Like, I've had my fair share of people look at me a little funny, like, who is that girl, what is she doing, and why is she doing that? My favorite professor would have to be McGonagall because, you know, on the surface she looks pretty calm, pretty put together, and then, like, you see her in the series, she's really passionate, she really cares for the kids at Hogwarts. And to me, she's just kind of a badass, which I love about her. Now, do I prefer the books or the movies? While I do like the books and the movies, I think, of course, I'd have to choose the books just because you get to delve more into these characters, even though you see quite a bit of it translate onto the movies. It's just something that's more personal about reading the books in comparison. And also because of just how well written they were, because J.K. Rowling, she just created something so mesmerizing and so fantastic that so many people have been able to fall in love with over the years. that is just legendary. Now, which of the Deathly Hallows would I be most interested in having? And I would definitely have to say the invisibility cloak, because there are times where I just want to be able to wander in silence and peace and not have anybody see me, just so I could observe everything that's going on around me. And I think that's kind of stems from the writer in me, because I like to observe people, what they look like, how they interact with one another, just so I get like an idea of how maybe I want to write a certain character in something that I'm working on. And this is in no way like a creepy staring at people type thing. It's just something that I like to do for research, and I think most other writers will understand where I'm coming from. I'd have to say my favorite spell would probably be Accio, like house keys or phone, because I'm constantly putting stuff down and not remembering where I'm putting it, so it would be really, really helpful. Now, if I could meet one character, who would it be? And I would probably have to say Hagrid, because I think spending just a day with him, or even a few hours, I'd be able to learn so much, just because he's so open about certain things and loves to teach, it seems like. And of course he cares for magical creatures, so that would be just so fascinating. Now, who would be my nemesis in the Harry Potter universe? And honestly, I actually don't think I would have just like a nemesis against me. I'm more somebody who kind of just blends in with the crowd. I don't really stick out too much, so I don't think I would be instantly like sought out as somebody to be a nemesis for. Plus, I try to avoid most confrontation because it just makes me really anxious, and I'm just not a big person on confrontation unless I think it's absolutely necessary. Now, my favorite pairing in the book, I actually don't really have a strong like or dislike towards any of the pairings, but if I had to really choose, I actually really like the relationship between Mr. and Mrs. Weasley, just because they're obviously really in love with one another, and they have such a big family, and you could tell that they just have such big hearts, that they're just, a relationship that really most people would probably want to aspire to. Now, which death in the books hit me the most? And I think it's really hard to choose just one, because you have Hedwig, and you have Sirius, and of course Dumbledore, and Snape, and Fred too. And then there was Dobby as well. They're all just so sad, but I think the one that really does stick with me the most was Sirius. Now, Sirius isn't actually a blood relative to Harry, but he is practically like an uncle, because he and Harry's father were best friends. And just the fact that he was this tangible person that was so close to somebody that Harry was related to and didn't really get a chance to know, it was just so sad to see him lose the opportunity to get to know not only Sirius, but also get to know more about his dad through him. And when he did die, Harry didn't only lose somebody he really cared about, but he also lost that lifeline to the life that he could have had should none of the events with Voldemort had happened. So I would say that his death really hit me the hardest, and it did make me tear up a lot more than the others. And I really just can't see where the Harry Potter universe goes, whether it be from continuations of this story or the Fantastic Beasts story. And I really can't wait until my kids get excited about the Harry Potter series, so that we could read them together and discuss them and watch the movies. But yeah, that pretty much sums this all up. So if you have any book series or book tags that you think would be interesting for me to do, leave them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in my next one.